Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be reviewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-26 win versus the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl in Tampa, Florida. I will say that again. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl in Tampa, Florida. It's a hometown Super Bowl. Oh yeah, you better believe it. Let's start off with some of the things that do need to be improved on. The drops were still a little bit of a problem in this game. Fournette had a couple, Jensen had one, Godwin had a couple, Mike Evans had a couple. One or two of these did result in interceptions for quarterback Tom Brady, depending on what side of the argument that you are on. Those do need to be cleaned up. Overall, the Buccaneers secondary was a little bit shaky in this game at certain points against guys like Valdez, Scantling, Davante Adams, and Allen Lazard. But I thought overall they did come together when they needed to. It did not help that both starting safeties, Antoine Winfield Jr. and Jordan Whitehead, were unfortunately out for this game. Whitehead played, I believe, the first half of the game, but he was out very quickly into the second half. Aside from that, some weird stuff with play calling, maybe. That's kind of it in terms of the takeaways. The run defense still played pretty good. Secondary did okay in other parts of the game as well. And Tom Brady did throw 3 interceptions, which that wasn't good as well. But he did have pressure in his face for 2 of those interceptions, I believe. The third one was debatable as to whether or not it did go off of Mike Evans' hands. So the 3 interceptions, not good. Don't want to be turning over the ball. Drops was not good as well. Secondary didn't play good in certain stretches of this game. But now let's start talking about some of the good. And there was good with Tom Brady besides those 3 interceptions. 20 for 36, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, only sacked 1 time. Thank you to the offensive line. They did a pretty decent job in this game. Leonard Fournette, 12 carries, 55 yards, and a touchdown. Playoff Lenny continues to be playoff Lenny, and I'm absolutely here for it. Mike Evans, 5 catches, 110 yards on 9 targets. Mike Evans, 3 catches, 51 yards, 1 touchdown on 8 targets. Scotty Miller, 2 catches, 36 yards, and 1 touchdown on 3 targets. They had a beautiful rainbow pass from Tom Brady to Scotty Miller to end the first half to put the Buccaneers up 28-10. Even Rob Gronkowski had a very awesome tight end screen. It was his only target, but he did take it for 29 yards. Cameron Brate had a touchdown, 3 catches for 19 yards. Overall, the passing game and the running game, I thought did enough to win this game. They obviously did enough to win this game, but I thought overall it was a pretty decent game. There were some things that could be fixed. The Tom Brady interceptions, some of the drops from guys like Fournette, Godwin, Evans, among others. But overall, they did what they needed to do to win this game, and I was very proud of that offense. On the defensive side of the ball, Devin White, 15 tackles and a fumble recovery in this game. He continues to have an absolutely phenomenal playoff run. Sign him to a 7-year contract, please. Carlton Davis had 7 tackles. He did struggle against Davante Adams, although, it is Davante Adams, who is one of the best wide receivers in the league right now. Sean Murphy-Bunting, 6 tackles, 1 pass deflection, and an interception off of quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Shaq Barrett, 5 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 4 quarterback hits. Shaq Barrett had a phenomenal game. Jordan Whitehead, 5 total tackles, and he forced 2 fumbles as well. 1 was recovered by Robert Tonyan. 1 was recovered by Devin White, like I mentioned earlier. Jason Pierre-Paul, 5 total tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. And Dominican Sue had a quarterback hit as well as Will Golston as well, I guess I should say. So, overall, this pass rush played phenomenal this game. 5 sacks, 8 quarterback hits. They made Aaron Rodgers' life miserable throughout most of this game, and they got some very clutch sacks when they needed to. I was incredibly impressed by the pass rush in this game. Shaq Barrett looked like his old self. Jason Pierre-Paul looked like his old self. And in the Super Bowl, That feels really good to say. They're going to need to be on their A game as well. I mean, this defense, certain guys on this defense have been having phenomenal postseasons so far at this point. Devin White, Jordan Whitehead, Shaq Barrett just came alive in this game. Pierre-Paul has had a pretty decent postseason so far. Levante David had a really nice pass deflection at one point as well. Shout out to him. Mike Edwards filling in for the injured Antoine Winfield Jr. had a pretty decent game, I think. There were some plays which could have been better, but overall I thought he did okay. Andrew Adams coming in and filling in for the injured Jordan Whitehead. I thought he did okay. He did get beat a couple of plays, but overall I thought he did okay. And, man, even Ryan Suckup did good. Ryan Suckup had 1 for 1 on his field goal, 4 for 4 of his extra points. Jadon Mickens, 5 returns for 124 yards, or 121 yards rather. Even our return game was doing good. I mean, this team played pretty darn complete, minus the interceptions and minus some of the drops. I mean, this team was playing like a complete football team in this game. Bradley Pinion, 2 punts, both of them were inside the 20. I mean, everybody was on their absolute A game. You could tell the Buccaneers wanted to win this game. Now, the same thing could be said for the Green Bay Packers, and I will give credit where credit is due. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers. They played one hell of a game. This was incredibly close. It was 21-10. 21-10. At the end of the first half, and the Buccaneers start off the second half right away, making it 28-10. The Packers came back in a very strong way, almost had the chance to win the game, but on 4th and goal from the Buccaneers' 8-yard line, they decided to kick a field goal instead of trying to go for the touchdown with around 2.5 minutes left in the game. I imagine that a lot of people are going to be questioning that call. I know a lot of people were dissing the referees as well, especially towards the end of the game on that Kevin King hold. It was a hold in my opinion, and yes, Tyler Johnson did flop there, but it was a hold. And, definitely the referees were letting these guys just play it out in a lot of situations. They didn't call a ton of flags. I don't know how many flags there were between both teams. Let me see if I can see here. I don't think I'm going to be able to see it. Penalties. Yeah, so there were only 6 penalties called in this entire game. So the referees were letting a lot of stuff fly, which I was fine with for the most part. Green Bay did get 4 penalties to Tampa Bay's 2. So you can't really blame the refs that much in this game. It was just 2 really good teams going head-to-head against each other, and it was just a great game between 2 teams. Buccaneers just got the better of the Packers in this one. That's what it is. So, yeah, guys, I'm out of breath because I've been celebrating on live stream because, by the way, the Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl, and I want to say what a freaking year this has been. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are advancing to the Super Bowl in Tampa. It's a hometown Super Bowl. That's never been done before. Minnesota is the only team that's gotten close, and they made it to the NFC Championship game, but they got blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles. The Buccaneers are the first team in NFL history to play a Super Bowl in their hometown. That's awesome. That's amazing. I mean, this is going to be so huge. It really is. I would not even be surprised if the fans outside the stadium are going to be making so much noise that the players in the stadium are going to be able to hear that. I mean, it's going to be that crazy, folks. It really is. What a year this has been. And I talked about this in the live stream, even going as far back as the Tom Brady signing. I thought that, if it did happen, that would be awesome, but I don't know if it's going to happen because stuff like that just doesn't happen to the Buccaneers often, right? And it did happen. Tom Brady came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and then became the speculation of, are him and Bruce Arians going to work out together? Every quarterback struggles in year 1 of Bruce Arians' system. They made it work, and they made it to the playoffs for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the first time in 13 years. Then people thought, there's dissension. Tom Brady, he's old. We'll see if they can get past the wild card round. Alex Smith, feel-good story for the Washington football team. Buccaneers win their first playoff game in 18 years by beating the Washington football team in the wild card round. Then, going into the divisional, there's no way they're going to beat the Saints. And I'll be honest, I was even very nervous about that game. Buccaneers defeat the Saints. Drew Brees, he's retired. He's off. Saints, whatever they're going to do with that situation. The Buccaneers beat that team and got that monkey off of their back. Then they go to the Green Bay Packers. These are 2 very different teams than last time they played. Nobody was saying that for the Bucs versus the Saints game, by the way. Aaron Rodgers was on a roll. People were saying, the Buccaneers are going to shrivel up in the cold of Lambeau Field. The Buccaneers went into Lambeau Field and defeated Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers, and they're advancing to the Super Bowl. You know, there's been a lot of doubters for a lot of different things, which is fine. I understand that. It's cool. I don't really care about that. But I'm so happy with how this year has went. Even, I was happy going to the playoffs and winning, one or two playoff games. But even my expectations, and I'm sure a lot of your guys' expectations have been exceeded to some degree. I thought that the Super Bowl was possible, but I wasn't betting on it. I wasn't counting on it. And they're going to the Super Bowl. And this is insane. And this is awesome. And I'm so freaking happy that I can share this season with all of you guys. It means the absolute world to me. This season has been incredible. So guys, with that being said, I'm going to have so much fun making videos here for the next 2 weeks, and we're all going to be along for the ride with each other, waiting for the Buccaneers to come home to play in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks in Tampa. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video or the next live stream, but until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now. The Buccaneers are going to the Super Bowl, and go Bucs.